Good morning, evening, afternoon, and night, everyone from all around the world. Welcome to the second official round of the BSKIT Combined Sprint Series. We are racing around Kyalami today in South Africa this time. Same race format as always. I am not joined by anyone here for now. Name's Findict or Jesse in real life, or Nerd in BSKIT terms. I am here to commentate over this race today. Later on, some other people might join. I know that some people offered that if they do crash out, which I hope they won't do on purpose, because I will ignore them in case they do that. But in case they crash out, they wanted to join and help me. And they might need to, because there are, again, 35 cars today. Last time around, Monza. Again, we had a lot of cars, and we've continued having a lot of cars. The maximum amount of people we accept in this series capped it at 48 cars, and we've got 35 joining here today. So excellent turnout today here as well. We're looking at Nippam, simply for the V12 audio. For the opening screen, just something brilliant to listen to. We've got a great variety in cars here today. Nippam currently fastest in the silver class. As you can see on the timing screen on the left, there you can see who has the fastest lap time, which unsurprisingly to some will be Harry Spears, followed by Norbert Hamas. And Pavel would be here, would be joining them, but he's not here today, unfortunately. And also, you might notice Harry Spears, through last time joined in a Mercedes, today is in a Bentley. Now, we have a rule for this. If people do decide to switch cars, we generally cancel the points that they get. So Harry would normally get. Would normally just get his points that he got last race. Now that he's switched every race prior to this, so it would be just Monza this time. That race is null and void. He's registered as a DNF on the sim grid where we host it. And yeah, he starts back from zero and is going to try and win the championship anyway. Something to race for him. And yeah, that does make it interesting. That's good. It's not the only one. I'm trying to look. Yeah, we got Jake Gatsby Hart here. Has switched to a V8 Aston Martin. I believe it's a V8. You can tell by the fact that the sound, the tone of the sound is a lot lower than the V12 would be. Trying pit entry, nicely stopping before the line, not entirely necessary, but it's a lot better to be safe than sorry as Kyalami. It's so easy to speed into it, trust me, I speak from experience. Another Aston Martin V8 in Gats last time around, I believe, and in the test race he was driving around in the McLaren car, which is a bit tough to drive. He could manage, but just about, and he said it would be more fun for him if he switched car, and I think fun is the number one reason to drive. So fair decision, and as such he will be in Aston Martin. Speaking of Andre Katz, by the way, currently on a pretty good lap. It's his only practice, and you do have to drive a briefing in about 2 minutes, but he is on for a really big improvement. Comes across the line. Let's see where he ends up. P2, but only 400s behind Harry Spears. And that's something that will surprise people, I'm sure. Harry Spears is considered to be an absolute alien in this game. Incredibly fast. And while Andre Katz is also considered really fast, he doesn't quite have the alien status. So I think for him, if he can secure a really good finish and have a really good race against Harry, maybe we'll talk about Andre Katz a little bit differently from this day on. But we'll have to see. The race still hasn't started yet. We're not even close. His teammate Ryan Curtis also currently on track in the Greg's liveried Aston Martin. Ryan is known in the BSKIT circles as a bit inconsistent, but quite pacey. So It's either a really good race for him, like, ooh, that's a little bit of a hot entry for the 285 there, but that's Harry Spears actually right behind him. But yeah, they managed to sort it out quite well. Once they get into the pit lane, they ghost, and I believe all cars are in the pits, and that means nobody gets a penalty. For driver's briefing, generally the rule is everybody needs to be stopped in the pits, and they need to be in the driver's briefing on BSKIT. And we've got a room there, and then the organizer for the race, who would be Deck. We can see his car. Deck also drives today in the Audi. He will tell everybody what's up, what's down, how to turn left and right, what the accelerator pedal does, which one below your feet it is, and he will tell you how indicators work. Either that or some rules about the race. It's whatever he feels like, I believe. Now, if you were here last week we did a race around Zolder, 6 hours endurance. Today will be different. This is a sprint series, so it will be a sprint race. The definitions for this race are 90 minutes of racing with 1 mandatory stop. And before that, we have a single qualifying session, which I think, off the top of my head, is 15 minutes. But it will be proven wrong in a moment, I'm sure. The Deck is the organizer. He's pulled all of these people together. We got 36 here today. A very large group, and I think about an even split of Pro and Pro-Am Silver drivers. You can see on the left the numbers, the driver numbers. That's the number that drivers are identified with. They are unique. And you can see them, not quite here on this view. Maybe if we, well, I'm not sure if we can see the number, but on the side you can slightly see it. That's just the driver number. You can see it on the side as well. So if you ever struggle to identify a car, see if you can spot the driver number, and then look in the list. And maybe you'll have a good idea. And behind the driver number on the left tower, we've got a color. Either red, grey or white. If you are a white collar, you are considered a pro driver. Pro drivers are generally faster drivers. They've got better pace, better consistency, things like that make them finish higher up on average. And then we've got the grey, which are the silver drivers. They're a little bit slower. And then the AM drivers, who are considered slowest. But that's a little bit of a weird definition sometimes, especially when you've got people like Yannick Breda, who didn't qualify very well. I've got a question to show. The Ferrari in P5 is indeed showing. It's a very nice livery. It's a little bit far away. Hang on, let me see if we can. No, not bumper. Let's look at the roof. Do I have a roof? I've got a wing. Passenger. This is the best we can do, and it's very dark. So it's in here. There's something here, so I think it's good. We've got the Sebastian Erbon asked me before the race if I could get this sorted, and I've got it. So all is good. Did lose my train of thought, but yeah, I was gonna say Yannick Breda has qualified relatively poorly, I think, compared to his normal pace. Qualifying consisted of drivers around Donington setting the best lap time they can, and based on the times that they've driven, we've split them up into the classes. As such, they are a little bit provisional. Donington is not a very representative track. Some cars will do better on it naturally, and some cars will do worse on it naturally. Funnily enough, the Porsche, I think, would do better, because it likes corners most of the time. But maybe it's not quite the track for Yannick. In any way, he's really shown that he has the pace, and is a favourite, for me at least, to win the race today for him. We've got Silver. Is also going to be quite interesting. Right now we see Nipham, of course, won the season last time around. and decided to show up in a car I don't think he's as comfortable with. So he's struggling a little bit. As a result, he's not a pro driver, but he did set the lap time faster than Charlie did. So shows up in 7th place right now. And Harry Spears, of course, fastest overall in pro class as well. 140.7 is the benchmark. We'll likely see times faster than that. But it's a good one to strive for the people immediately behind. I think we'll have a nice fight between 3 drivers. Andre, Norbert and Harry are the drivers to watch for the win. I think everybody's expecting Harry to do it because Harry is such a quick driver. We saw last time around at Monza. He parked the car up, he decided to do a last to first challenge, and he almost managed it, got a penalty, so got demoted to 3rd, but he was 2nd on track. And definitely had the pace to keep up with the person that won the race in the end. And that person is Norbert Tamas, currently leader in the championship. Fastest man in BSKIT for now. Winner gets 50 points today, and I believe it decreases by 5 for a little bit. Fastest lap also for each class gets a drive 3 points, if I recall correctly. Trying to find the statistics, so the results. Yeah, we got Diego Fimbres Casas, the Mercedes in number 10 Mercedes in P6. He finished 2nd last time. Harry, of course, 3rd after a penalty for taking, I believe it was Barnabas Eros out of the running. He was leading silver class, but unfortunately was taken out. Charlie can finish 4th, and Josef Carabellos, who I haven't really seen yet. I'm gonna scroll down the list. Maybe I have missed him. He might not be here today, which would be unfortunate for him. Yeah, can't really see him, but okay. He finished 5th. Now let's have a look at the silver results. His result, we got Wojta Pavlicek. He won the race last time in the silver class. I don't really see him right now. Actually, he's in P25. Yesterday, 143.0. But of course, that is practice. We don't know the fuel load he has done, or he is used to set that time. He is currently in. Well, he's in a Honda apparently, which is an interesting choice. But yeah, currently in P1 in the standings. James Spivey finished 2nd. Daniel Nyakas in 3rd. Barnabas Eros finished in 4th, of course, after being the fastest driver for most of that race. But unfortunately was by force demoted. And Dan Kingswell finished 5th. And of course, we had Yannick Breda win that race quite dominantly. Very good performance from him, very consistent, staying out of trouble. It's already out on track as the driver briefing has finished. This is still free practice, so they'll likely just try to get a feel for the car and themselves mentally ready for qualifying. Yannick actually first out on track, trying to really establish himself as a leader maybe, or just press the button first. Trev McSlav finished 2nd in the class. Then we've got Bogdan Rusu, who I want to look up in the list. Bogdan, I believe his livery didn't load correctly today, so I'll have a look at that. He did have a really beautiful livery set for today. The pointer is not working, but can't do anything about that now. But yeah, we'll see if we can fix it for next time. Would be nice. But he finished 3rd last time. Michael Favier finished 4th. And we got Nils Janssen, who I believe he won the 2nd series. He finished 5th last race. Those are our protagonists. What is that number 88 car? Hang on. I see that. I have to look at it. It is Matthias Schmidt. But that's a bit of a meme lord. But and as you can see by the face on top, I think that's an accurate representation of him. Harry Spears, all eyes are on him. During qualifying, he's gonna get, I think, a little bit of a lap this session, see what he can drag out of that Bentley. A bit of a last-minute decision to change, but I mean, you can trust Harry to be comfortable with the car almost immediately. Ooh, as Yannick has a bit of a slide there, moves out of the way, and Harry moves ahead. A bit of racing practice then, and just a little bit too early on the power for Yannick, I believe. Sliding around a little bit too much, but it's best to do that in practice, and qualifying also not that much of a disaster. As long as you have a decent banker lap time set, you should be okay. During the race, though, that is not what you want, in a position like that. Have a look at who else is trying to set a lap time. Ryan Kurt is actually up on his time right now. Some people are actually standing still somewhere, but Ryan has already invalidated his lap and is slower as well. Kurt McSlav currently set in P23, but currently very much up on his time. About 6/10 last time I looked, so virtually he should be a lot higher up. Hopefully during qualifying we will see him set a lap to his potential. A much better run through here this time around, so I think has a lot of time to win there. Of course, the second to last corner, Greg's as we call it, but I believe it's called Cheetah in real life. Got a very nice list of corner names. Kyalami, which I should learn. However, the BSKIT alternative names for these corners stick with me a lot easier. For instance, I believe Gats calls is it the third turn in sector 3, like the left, right, downhill, uphill, the S's, I believe it's called in real life, maybe? He calls it Spoon.
Green light, go, go,
It's not Spoon. Spoon is in Suzuka. He's a bit confused maybe, but we all understand what he means, and we just play along. Alright, so who's first out on the track? It is Harry Spears. Now he will be hunting for pole position, and he wants to do it from the front with nobody ahead of him. And I think that's a very wise decision. There are, I believe, 37 cars, more than earlier. 37 cars joined today, and that means that it's gonna be busy, it's gonna be crowded, it's gonna be difficult to find a gap. I'm sure Deck will have said this during the briefing. You gotta be patient when you start a lap like this. You don't want to start a lap too close to the guy ahead of you. And you have to be really careful with people exiting the pits, because even if you start a lap far away from anyone ahead of you, somebody could come out of the pits and immediately emerge ahead of you. Then you have to be careful of it. And you have to continue to find your way around them. Try to keep the air ahead of you clean. And you see plenty of people in sim racing, especially when they're a little bit inexperienced, make the mistake of starting a qualifying lap whenever, basically whenever they're ready, and then catch up to the car ahead, maybe because the car ahead is not on a lap or has spun out, and then they have to either abort the lap. Well, I mean, if the car ahead is not on a lap, then they should get out of the way, but if they are on a lap, then they have the right to finish it. You can't expect people to disappear in that case, and that's why it's on you to leave a gap ahead of you. And we will quickly jump on the bonnet of Harry Spears' LSU Esports car. See how this track flows. A little bit after the 100 board is where he brakes. Slightly misses the apex maybe. Maybe a little bit hot, but he knows better than I do, so maybe I'm completely wrong. These S's are basically free, but it's all about lining up for this corner, hit that apex and have as big of an exit as you can. Maximizes the space on the right without touching the grass, crucially. This corner, you kind of send it in, try to carry as much speed through there as you can. Hit the apex with wide exit, line up on the right immediately. Brake for a relatively slow corner, wide exit there. Line up immediately for the next one. The S's hit the apex there. Take a lot of curb there to try to avoid this one. Carries a lot of speed out of there. You've got a little bit of room to breathe here. But immediately over this crest, you want to be on the brakes. The car gets a little bit light there. Misses the apex a little bit. One of those hairpins where maybe that doesn't matter so much. And this is a bit of a straight. The time to breathe. This corner is virtually free unless you have damage. Lines on the left. Corner goes to the right. This is a really difficult corner to get right. Because the exit is a lot tighter than you think. And then this corner, as we call it, Greg's Peter. It's a sausage curb on the apex there. If you hit it, you are basically on the gravel and you can cancel your run. And then the track finished off with a hairpin. Brilliant lap from Harry there. A good banker at 140.4. And I think that will put him on pole for a little while. So we got a couple of the cars setting their time. We got Nipham currently set the time after Harry did, but a lot of people have already improved over that. Currently, Charlie Kent in P2 driving the Audi, and then we got Andre Katz, who we did see as a potential challenge to Harry, maybe setting the car in P2, but still a big gap. You can see just how much Harry is able to extract out of that Bentley, despite the lack of practice, and that's a bit of raw talent that is very hard to come by. So Harry, I said Harry, but I meant to say Andre. Still quite far away from the competition behind. I think he's not quite closer to Harry than Diego, but it's not far off. So he's in a nice gap of himself, and if that's how his race is gonna be, then it's gonna be very boring for him for sure. We cooked it a little bit earlier though, and unfortunately this lap does not count anymore. See who is on an improvement is Charlie Kent, currently 5/10 up. Of course, Charlie Kent driving the danger car last week. Set some excellent lap times at the end of the race there, and big reason the danger car ended up in 3rd place. Today, driving in the Audi again. He's starting to take a liking to this car, as everybody should. As I spread some more Audi propaganda. It's a little bit crowded here, but he's still up on his lap, about 3 to 4 tenths. Oh, but goes so wide, and that invalidates his lap just on Greg. Says I'm gonna call it for the rest of the day. You can't stop me. Goes a little bit wide, and that's the lap gone, unfortunately, and has to try again from the start. Ibana Banana was well known in PRC, Pineapple Racing Club. Sets the car on P5. Was a bit further down before that, but just came across the line, and very, very strong improvement. About 8 tenths, I believe, but still a lot of time to fight, I think, for them. Who else have we got? We got Pavel up the top. Also improving a lot. In the Czech Navy car, now there's not a car that is a Czech Navy car, but that is Vojta Pavlicek, but he has a different brand of car, so doesn't officially count. Pavel Pitar, I believe he improves a little bit, but not much in terms of positions. It's unfortunate for him, but still a lot of time to try and find time. Now Andre Katz is currently improving, about halfway through his lap, and about 2 tenths up when I looked early, but this corner, it's make or break, and in this case, it's a break. Loses all of that time, and it's gonna have to try again next time around, I think. Charlie Kent trying to find his improvement again. 4 tenths up this time around again. Now let's see if we can nail Greg's this time. This corner, be very patient on the power, but he gets a good run through there. Tries to send it over here, I'm sure. Oh, but goes wide again, and that's illegal again. Can't do that, unfortunately, but he's really trying to send it and take all out of the corner he can. Unfortunately, it's not working right now. Norbert Tamas, currently P13. Of course, that's not where he belongs. This went through Cheetah. Lap still legal, so that's promising. About over a second faster than his previous lap, so he's definitely going to move up in the ranks. Let's see where it gets him. P2, just a little bit ahead of Andre Katz. Difference about 0.03 of a second. And yeah, that still puts him quite far behind Harry Spears. Harry having a a very strong clamp on that pole position for now. Wojtek Pavlicek will want a class pole position though. Balint Gabe currently in the lead for silver class. Quite far up there, in fact. I think he's really happy with his lap. Maybe the track suits him and his car very well, it being the Bentley. But Wojtek probably wants to compete a little bit. He has the lead in the class. Small improvement, I believe, but it's not enough to get close. Still has to keep grinding. Charlie Kent again, 6/10 up. Now let's see how he does around Greg's again. So this corner is also so crucial to get right. It's a tricky corner. You have a lot of space. That also means a lot of space to make up to mess up. And he, well, he can mess up in a variety of ways. He tries to play it a little bit safer this time, but he nails it as far as I'm concerned. Maintains a big advantage over his last lap, and he's going to move up quite a lot. Don't be scared, but here he is, P2 Charlie Kent. The 91 Audi takes on Andre Katz and Norbert Tamas in that little bubble right behind Harry Spears. And Diego joins them a little bit further off maybe, but P5 for Diego in that Mercedes. So it's heating up at the front with the pro drivers as the track conditions do somewhat improve. It is already optimum, so we'll see very fast lap times come out now. Let's have a look. Who's currently leading AM class? It would be Casper Arield, number 14 car, the PCDC Motorsports car. Driver number 14 in a Ferrari. Performed very well in the test race. I believe in the interviews that he doesn't agree with being in AM class, but he refused to improve his lap time in the qualifying server. So for now he's in here. And we will reevaluate, of course, after every race. If somebody's obviously out of class, it's good to move them. Yannick Breda, who might... He's outperforming his class for sure. He's in the lead again, and in this lap he's again up a couple of tenths. In fact, does he move up? Yeah, he does move up to P16. So small improvement in terms of positions, but in time I think it was about 2 tenths. So he can be very proud of that. Moving himself into a different pack where there's a lot of cars within a couple of tenths of each other. Yeah, excellent job by him for sure. Who else we have? Let's have a look at Balint's car. Balint Gabe, currently leader in silver for this qualifying session as he goes to invalidate his lap time there. I think he's setting up for a lap anyway. Yeah, I think this is an out lap, so it doesn't matter. There's nothing to invalidate. Currently leader in silver, has a decent gap to the next silver driver, about 3 tenths. To Nipam. Who I say that. We got Oscar Saristo almost miraculously putting in an amazing lap time, only 6 tenths clear of Harry Spears. He'll surely be proud of that in that Porsche. So yeah, well done, P2 for Oscar. Norbert Tamas though, I think he's trying to ruin Oscar's day. He's currently 2 tenths up already, only through sector 1 in a corner. So let's have a look at how he will do. From his bump, see the lights as well. Of course, it is a night race, so the drivers have to be extra careful in the sense that they might not see as well the track, the cars you will see because of the lights. Of course, the primary function of light is to be seen and not see. Bit of a slide there, though. That can't be healthy for lap time, and it is not. He loses all of his advantage and has to restart. Just parks the car. Now, Andre Katz has just started his lap and has already made up some time, so definitely some more for him to find. He misses the apex here, though. It doesn't carry as much speed as he could. Breaks late for this as possible. Early on in the power was a very, very neat run there, but not so much gaining in time. So still a lot for him to find. He threw the hairpin then. I don't think this lap is going to be the one. He continues losing, but on exit, he regains a little bit. Of course, the hairpin will always be a compromise. If you brake too late, you lose time, and if you brake too early, well, they of course you lose time because you know you stand still before you even reach the corner. It's a difficult one, but through Greg's anyway, try to hit that apex as hard as you can. Doesn't gain much time there. In fact, he loses a little bit. I think he just has to. Yeah, there you go. He basically stops the car, goes for a late apex on that corner, early on the power as he can, and sets up for a new lap because that's how you're gonna find the time. Just small things like that. We got Dominic Fichetta here, Hungarian driver of Massim Green. I believe it might be the teammate of Balint. Had a bit of an improvement. Has vanished again. I think we also see a lot of people losing their improvements to maybe back market or drivers ahead of them. But they are faster then. I'm looking through the list. Most people are down on their time. We do have Reese Corbin here. Reese in that BMW. I believe it's an M4. Beautiful livery. I'm not sure if he created that or Pandas created that, but it looks brilliant. Curly, well, he was 2/10 up on this time. I think he's lost everything because I started looking at it. Which seemed to become the pattern, trying to ignore them until they get close to the finish now. Yeah, I see a lot of people. We do have Matteo Smith not having set a lap time yet. He might have a... Well, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. He is not going out. Well, Steve Muckley, though, still hasn't really set a time I think he can write home about. He's considered a pro driver because of excellent qualifying around Donington. I feel like that McLaren and maybe the driver in it is less happy driving around Kyalami. Does improve his time. It's a position by only one, though. From this point on, though, if he does have to improve by several seconds to really get into the pack. It's going to be difficult, but it's entirely possible. We'll have to see. Yannick Breda only gained a lot of time going into the chicane. No, it's just the game being bugged. Of course, we are still talking about a game. Game is programmed in such a way to be buggy. Though sometimes we don't get accurate numbers, but Yannick is improving. That much is for sure. He's only got 2 more corners to go. Of course, Greg's, ooh, takes a lot of curb there. Hits these sausage, I believe. Loses him a little bit of time, but he's still up, crucially. And it might gain him a position, but it's gonna be close. Good exit out of the last corner for sure. And yeah, P16, there you go. Yannick Breda beats Sammy Cal to P16 for now. Still have 4 minutes to go, so anything can change. See what else we got. At the front, we got still Harry, Oscar, Andre being the order. I do believe Andre has beaten out Norbert, and Norbert has also been beaten by Charlie Kent. We'll see a little bit more development there behind Harry. See who takes that P2 position. Because Harry is too far up, I think. I'm not sure. Unless somebody sets the lap time of their lives, I don't think we'll see that lap time improve. Sebastian Erdmann is on an improvement right now. At least I hope the program I'm using is being accurate to me. I believe it just reads that from ACC directly. So ACC makes tries to make calculations. It's sometimes a little bit hard to do. You always gotta botch something. But yeah. Oh, as I see a prime suspect for banning in the chat. Sebastian Erdmann finishes off his lap. It's still legal. It's still faster. Let's see where it puts him. Previously P8. After crossing the line, he sits in P6 instead. So 2 places improved. Well done, Sebastian. With that livery, of course, in full view. You see it does indeed work, and we're very happy to see it up in P6. 2 minutes 30 left to go. If drivers do want to settle up, they probably want to drive out now if they're currently in the pits. Otherwise, you likely will not be able to finish it. Funnily enough, Sebastian Ebon again on an improvement. I think he's really trying to get in the flow. Well, someone else on an improvement is Vojta. He's still got a couple more corners to go. The two of them difficult. This one, of course, very difficult to get exactly right. It's hard to crash, but it's easy to lose time. It's gonna be about tenths maybe, but there you go. Cheetah a little bit more cautious this time compared to his fastest lap. Loses about a tenth or so, but he's still up, crucially. Is it enough for a couple of positions? It's enough for one position. Goes up to P18, beating out Dek Kambola being demoted to P19. Who else do we got? Not much happening in terms of improvements there. We do have Andre on a slight improvement right now. He's at least matching his lap time, his best lap time. So improvement still to be made. We also got Norbert Tamas. I believe he's ahead of Andre in the lap. Maybe set for some improvements later on. Currently he's matching his lap time, so let's see what happens once he crosses the line. Got this corner to navigate. It's all about, at this point, when people have already set quite a good lap, quite a decent, strong lap. It's all about matching your time in the strong sectors and improving the worst ones. You lose a lot of time there, but I think it's just purely set up for the next lap. Andre cuts behind him, still matching his lap time. Still got those two corners to go through. The second and third to last corners. He's slightly losing time now, but if he really nails Cheetah, which he does, granted, he can still gain some time. And with 30 seconds to go, he will be able to set another lap, but this one is a slight improvement of time, but not of position. In fact, I think he may have matched his best time there. No, he almost did. It's very, very close. As you can see on the screen, it's 5 thousandths away. And that is consistency, but that doesn't get you anywhere in qualifying. So one more shot for him. For a lot of other people, the flag is coming down in 7 seconds. And Sammy Cow is currently also set to improve. Trying to figure out what is the best way to go through. We've got Hibana Banana finishing first in 14th position. That will be his best possible starting position. We've got Trev McSlav will be the next one to set a legal lap time. And finish his qualifying that way. Currently set in P28, but not improving, unfortunately. And decides to reset as such. Sasha Kleinen, of course, better known as Pandas, is also about to finish his lap. We do have Bobnar ahead of him, but he's not really set for improvement, Bobnar is. So, sits in P30. P30, I should say. Sasha is up for an improvement, but it's going to be small, I think. Very small, and doesn't improve position, unfortunately. We've got a couple of people also close to finishing their lap. Bogdan does not improve, but Pavel might. Pavel Opletal, he's currently set in P31. Surely wants to improve a lot. Improves somewhat. P29, definitely better than where he was, so he can be happy about that much. And I do want to switch to Andre Katz, because Andre is actually improving quite a lot. Let's see where it puts him. Does it put him up? Yes, it does put him up in P2. Andre Katz, on the death of the session, takes P2 from Oscar. And goes ahead, but it's not quite over yet, because Charlie Kent is still driving. He's got one more corner to go. Not sure if he's currently improving, but let's see. Once he gets across the line, I think it might have to settle. Yes, has to settle for P5. And that means that Harry Spears has pole position, confirmed. Followed closely by Andre Katz. Oscar Saristo currently leader in, well, it says silver class. I believe he's actually unclassified for now. So, for him, we'll see his class be determined for the next race. Have a guess what that might be. But very good for him. Then we've got the next silver class driver will be Balan Kabe in P9. And the best AM driver, Casper, of course, has said that he maybe isn't an AM driver, but we do have Yannick behind it. P17, kind of invading the silver space there. Very good lap from him. showing his pace. Next drive behind that in M class is Bogdan, who unfortunately don't have his livery. I'll be sure to get it next time. Yeah, very, very nice job set there in P21. Lead of the M besides Yannick and Casper. We'll do a grid rundown in a moment. People, drivers have 5 minutes to prepare and get ready. So, if you are watching this, if you have been following qualifying, the excitement of it, this is your chance. Go to the toilet, get ready, get a drink. Might be doing that myself as well. But first, of course, a bit of a grid rundown. So, we have 37 cars led by Harry Spears in P1, followed by André Katz from the Netherlands. Next we got Oscar Saristo from Finland. Norbert Tamas follows him. And in P5 we have Charlie Kent. P6 Sebastian Erban, followed by Joris Peters Veen. Then we got Diego Paul Fimbres Casas, finished P2 last time. Do I say that correctly? Yeah, I think he did, because Harry finished P3. Finished P2 last time, and today he starts out in P8. Maybe not where he wanted to be. Then we got Balint Gabay in P9 and Dominique Fiquette in P10. Next we got Dan Kingswell, P11. Putting that Audi nicely up there. Kasper Arield in P12. Then we got Wojtek Pavlicek. Nipamsha follows him in P14 and Hibana Banana in P15. Ryan Curtis is sat in P16, followed by Yannick Breda, one of the stronger AM drivers and leader of that class currently. Sami Cal is right behind, and Declan Bowler behind that, followed by Filip Drzajic, rounding off the top 20. Bogdan Rusu is in P21, followed by Robert Weber, Jake Gatsby Hart, and Nils Janssen in P24. Reese Corbin is in P25. Michael Favier is right next to him, though. David Brown and Trev McSlav are in 27 and 28, respectively. Pavel Opletal is in P29, and Sasha Kleinen, also known as Pandas, P30. Matic Bobna in P31. Philip Piachotta in 32nd. In 33rd, we got Fraser Dickey, Steve Muckley in 34th, Max Weber 35th, Johannes Kauner in 36th, and Matteo Schmidt rounds off the grid. So Wojtek Pavlicek kind of went under the radar, was quite far down for a lot of that qualifying session, but has moved himself up, crucially, into P13, which will be a much better position for him to fight from. Kyalami is a bit of a difficult track to overtake past, well, outside of the start-finish straight, past the first lap. So, making up some positions at the start could be crucial. But it's so important to do it safely. It's wide, but any wide space can be filled with cars and cause a bit of a problem for the cars behind. If you do not react in time, you might be in a crash, and you might continue the race in last place after you've maybe served your penalty if you were really naughty. And even if you're not naughty, repair damage, try again. So on the left you see the timing tower, and in the timing tower there is that yellow bar with the number 1 in it. That means that drivers have 1 mandatory pit stop. This will likely start being served after 20 minutes at least have passed. The cars can't really do more than 70 minutes. Most of them, the Bentley is quite good on fuel, so it might. But most cars cannot do that. Once they have served their mandatory stop, their bar will turn green. And they can finish the race legally. Stops do require a tire change, which essentially means that all stops are at minimum 30 seconds. 30 seconds stood still in the box, that is. And then the pit lane entry is, of course, right before the last corner. And it emerges on the start-finish straight. To see the cars bouncing in ACC, that does mean that they get out of the setup screen. And the reason they do it so late, because they need to have select drive before the timer hits 0, which I think everybody has done today. Yes, it does look like that. And Harry is off for his parade lap, and everybody else will soon follow. Because we've got such a big grid, it's gonna take a while for everybody to start rolling. This is the moment where everybody will try to warm up their brakes, warm up their tires a little bit, get it up to pressure as much as they can, and mentally prepare for what is to come, the start of the race. And Ricans follows Harry closely in his footsteps, in his slipstream, whatever. For now, it does not matter. It's just important for him to be there when the lights go green. Maybe even challenge into turn 1, which would make the race a lot more exciting, I think, for most people. Oscar Saristo, provisionally silver, unclassified in reality, likely to be classified in pro class after we finish this race. Looking further down the grid, you can see just how many cars there are. They're still coming around the first section of corners, but here we are. Between that corner and the corner Harry was in just a moment ago, it's just full of cars. It's an entire car park, so people have to be very careful. And gaining positions is important, but it's not as important as staying clean. As getting through turn 1 without a scratch, without a hitch, and with all 4 wheels still firmly connected on the track. Harry Spears will have the easiest time because nobody's ahead of him, but people behind him might still make mistakes. So there's never a guarantee. Andre Katz last season, if we remember, he was leading the race, if I recall correctly. He had a really good shot of winning it. Tinko van der Velde joined us that race and was extremely quick. Couldn't really hold him back, but he decided to do last first, so he held himself back. Really good for entertainment. But as a result, Andre Katz was in the lead, and when he stopped, he forgot to change his tires. I'm pretty sure he won't be making that mistake again, ever. Especially, hopefully, not today. And if it does happen, then we will cry. And I will not give subs. So he hears that, he will surely do it on purpose. Andre Castle lagging a little bit behind there, but Harry going through Greg's, almost the last corner. You see all the cars lining up in double file. And look at how many cars there are. Let's go a little bit to the middle. Have the helicopter sensor on that. Look at how many cars there are. So many cars. Some might not even be around the last corner by the time the lights go green, which will be in a moment. Quicker than you think. It's very close and... Ooh, not yet.
Green light, go, go, go.
There we go. As they pass under the lights do go green. Harry has a really good start there. Andre caught napping a little bit. His cars behind are also closing in. Looking on the outside is the BMW of Norbert Tamas, but does not manage it. Andre has a really good look around the outside, but does not manage to stick it there. Oscar, meanwhile, side by side with Andre, manages to pull ahead already and is currently in P2. Very well done. And behind there, we have a lot of cars coming through, barreling through there. And surprisingly, if I see that correctly, no incidents. That's not in the script. No, that's brilliant. A bit jokingly there, but very well done through the first few turns without a hitch. Most drivers there. And so we have the running order with Harry Spears in the lead. Oscar right behind, followed closely by Andre Katz. Carly Kent is behind that. Having gained the position from Norbert Tamas, who was ahead of him a moment ago. But still very close and chasing. Sebastian Erdmann behind that, as we do see some yellow flags in the back. We got Jake Gatsby Hart out of the running there. We got Steve Muckley also knocked out a little bit. Michael Favier also on the gravel, in fact. Some things happened there at that corner that we do not speak of. Unfortunately, we did miss it. But yeah, there's a couple of cars not quite playing nicely through those corners. And as a result, got Favier, Muckley, Brown, Dickey, Gats, all losing a lot of time in the back for now. And we do see Harry Spears. Yellow flag for him. I'm trying to catch him. Oh. I'm not sure if he hit the wall. I don't think he has. I think he's just parking it there and doing another lot the first challenge today. So, that means that Oscar Saristo is now leader of the race. And as I say that, he's being challenged by Andre Katz. Scratch that. Andre Katz is the leader of the race. And we're going to have a continuous battle here between these two, I believe. They seem to be quite matched. Oscar had a bit of a run on him at the start, but Andre takes him quite back. And look at how close these cars are. Oscar looking on the outside. Maybe there's a move there, not around that corner. But Andre, looking a little bit scruffy there. Oscar loses a little bit though, having to back out there. And as a result, Charlie Kent looking around the outside. No space there. Has to tuck back in. And Norbert Thomas, everybody will be closing in. But because Oscar's being put under pressure by Charlie Kent, Oscar having to go a little bit defensive, just a little bit. Andre Katz does have a little bit of space to breathe right now. So if he can manage, maybe he can start running away. But this battle is not going to be over for quite a while. If we go down to the ground, have a bit of a better look at what's going on here. Andre Katz leading the race from Oscar Saristo right behind. Charlie Kent very closely following. And Norbert Tamas rounding off that top four. Sebastian Erban also right behind. I believe qualified around P6, but already move up to P5. Very well done. Diego Fimbres Casas, P6 also well done. And Joris Petersveen P7. So still closely following. And Charlie Kent, it says it moved up, but I believe they just had a battle and Charlie is still on top. So P3 for him. Let's go of Oscar a little bit. Having a little bit of trouble parrying that BMW from Norbert Tamas. As you do see Norbert Tamas looking on the inside, but not really a move there. Charlie has to keep it in between the lines, otherwise it will lose enough grip to lose a position as well there. We do see Diego gets a little bit of battle with Sebastian Erban ahead, who is trying to catch up or maybe even overtake Norbert Tamas. We do see Diego, a little bit side by side, putting a nose in there. Around the outside? No, it's not going to be possible. Just do not carry as much speed as the car on the inside. And has to concede that position again. And so the running order for now does not change in the lead. As we do move down, Harry Spears already moving up to P27 as still looking, still very, very close. Thinks better of a move right there. Have a good look at what's going on there. The 409 car looking ever so juicy. It's gonna want to try and take it between those shark teeth or something. I don't know. Very interesting view we have here of his car. But not close enough to make a move quite yet. Still a lot of race to go, so no need to sweat it for now. But Harry Spears is behind and catching. Catching the pack currently 20 seconds to the leader. And that gap is going to shrink after he gets through most of them. A couple of things happening there, but nothing in terms of positional changes. And this is going to be the running order for a little while, I fear. Don't leave forget though, very, very close behind Balint. I believe these are teammates, so they won't sweat it too much. But only does want to look on the inside. Is he going to break? Oh, nope, not quite breaking into it. Very well parried from Balint as well, and stays ahead of Dominic. And it does allow the pack behind to catch up just a little bit. As Charlie Kent closely challenging Oscar here. Charlie currently a 10th behind, so very closely following. Andre Katz has managed to escape a little bit. Ooh, Oscar going wide. There is a place though where you can get away with it as long as you don't completely spin out and maintain control over your car. Crucially, you can maintain that position, and that's exactly what he's gone and done. So Charlie has to settle for this, and we do see the top 7 pulling away from everyone else. A little bit of a gap forming right behind Joris. You see a car in the pits. The number 8, that is Michael Favier. Not sure if he has retired yet. Have a quick look at that. No, I think he's repairing. Otherwise he would sit at an angle. You do see Nipam Shah being overtaken by Casper, it appears. So Casper making moves there in the middle of the pack. And Nipam looking around the outside, but there's nothing there for now. Casper is also very, very close together, so there's a lot of potential for moves around this position. Casper Ariel for now, though, maintains P12. A little bit of a gap ahead, but there's nothing he can't close in the next few minutes. We do have Sami Cal, I think, made a mistake, lost a couple of positions. Yannick Breda currently in P16, and Deck following close behind. Got a nice little train between these three. Wojtek Pavlicek very, very close behind Ryan Curtis. Have a look at how these two managed to battle. We do see, at the number 13, that is Nipam Shah. Unfortunately, I think he missed a corner there, and as a result, lost a position to Ryan. Wojtek Pavlicek close behind Nipam now. And he's gonna have to overtake there. Speaking of overtakes, there we see Dek Bowler on the inside of Yannick. Yannick has to concede that position, but maybe a little bit too roughly. Sami Cal also has a look on the inside, but does not make that move stick. Yannick bleeding a position there to Dek, but no crisis yet. He is an AM driver and he is competing. I was looking down on my timing screen for a minute, and Yannick has made a mistake, it appears, and loses the car in the gravel and loses a bunch of positions. No longer in that nice position for M class, and has to fight himself back up into a good position as he has to avoid a car there. Not quite sure which one that is. Let me have a look. That's Pavel Opletal diving on the inside there, taking that position. No damage done, I think, for Yannick, so the car will still function as he goes already up the inside there, very late on the brakes compared to Pavel, and retakes that position with full confidence. And keep an eye on him, currently in P24. Let's see where he ends up at the end of the race. Oscar Saristo has set the fastest lap of the race, and with that he will be catching up, or is actually currently catching up, to Andre Katz. Andre Katz currently still in the lead of the race, was able to run away a little bit with the battling that was going on behind it, but Oscar is starting to catch up, getting into the groove, into his rhythm, and showing himself to be faster than Andre for now. The gap was only 3/10 last lap. Andre being 3/10 slower, that is, than Oscar. This is going to be a battle for the lead that's going to manifest quite quickly. Stick around for that one. Let's see what else we got around. We've got Harry Spears overtaking Reese Corbin, almost digging himself out of that massive pack of AM cars. You see Sasha Kleiner, making a mistake there. Maybe loses the car again, but that's on the racing line, so cars have to be careful. That number 64 car coming up. Sasha very, very good driving there. Realizes I am on the racing line and accelerates, not to recover, but just to get out of the way and prevent damage, not only to other cars, but his own car as well. Very, very good driving, very good awareness, and despite the spin, there's a lot of positive to be said about that. We do see a yellow flag again. Robert Weber must have made a mistake through Greg's, and this is what it looks like. You are now stuck and have to let a lot of cars through. I think he can already move those, but maybe, I think he's playing it very safe. He wants to pull into the pits, and maybe has to repair some damage from that. Very unfortunate indeed. Norbert Hamas currently sat in P4. Not exactly where he wanted to be for sure. He did win the last race. Would want to win another one, but is currently stuck behind a Briton by the name of Charlie Kent, also known as Donut colloquially in the BSKIT lore. In the BSKIT metaverse, I don't know what we would call it, but He's being closely chased by Norbert Tamas. Ooh, and he has to kind of pull out of that. Norbert Tamas braking a little bit too late. It loses him time, but it also puts Charlie a little bit in danger. You saw him move over to the left a little bit early just to avoid that that collision. And yeah, loses a lot of time there, Norbert. But he's right up there because Norbert is very, very fast. Charlie is fast as well, but not that fast to just simply be able to run away from Norbert. And as a result, they are battling closely again. Behind that, Sebastian Erbman has a little bit of a gap to Diego in P6. And Joris Beveen currently P7 as Hibana Banana. No, Dan Kingswell. Oh, also a victim of Greg's. I believe he may have hit the wall. So that's going to be a disaster for him. And he might have to stop early. And that Audi may barely be able to make that on a full tank. So it might be a little bit early for him. So I think he's going to continue. Yeah, that's very unfortunate to lose so many positions there through a spin out of Greg's. But he continues. Rejoins, in fact, right ahead of Yannick. We already have a drive-through penalty being served. Piazzetta, the 448 Mercedes, in the pits currently to serve his drive-through penalty. Got Oscar Soristo still closely chasing the leader of the race in Andre Katz. They are coming up to a back marker, so Oscar might want to play it smart. There's a few ways to do that, in fact. You could wait for the back marker and wait for a move to be created in that way. Alternatively, and what he might try is box early, box late, and maybe with superior pace, try to overtake Andre. But that is something we'll have to look at later, and if he sees an opportunity, he's keeping Andre honest right now. Andre can't make a mistake because he'll lose a position. Yeah, being kept honest by Oscar, and that's the back marker. Philip Kizaj, full faith in him that he will be very clean with these cars. You are not allowed to defend is the rule, but you do not have to move aside. Regardless, some people might do that. You see Jeremy Clarkson on the back of that Greg's car. As you can see from this perspective, this is what you see if you are behind a, I believe they call it the skill issue racing car. Skill issue, of course, being a very notable catchphrase from Ryan Curtis, who just moved up past Casper Arielt into P11. A bit of a battle here between all of these cars. Now, a bit controversial sometimes, Ryan, but he does know how to make moves sometimes. Sometimes makes them come out of nowhere. Oh, Casper Arielt causing a yellow flag here. What has happened here? He's next to the track. There must have been a little bit of a collision there. He pushed wide, and I think he's hit the wall. He's going to have to rejoin the race carefully, and which I see a lot of people doing, and I'm really happy to see that. So he does that. Very unfortunate for him to lose all those positions. Oscar Saristo still behind that Aston Martin. Takes a little bit of a wider line. Now, I'm not sure if that's a mistake or if that's a case of preference there. He does have a decent exit here. You do see the gap not exactly growing. Maybe little by little, but in the end, the gap is still within half a second. And as a result, Andre has to be really careful. Overtake always being threatened a little bit wide through Greg's there. Brakes nicely for the last hairpin. A little bit later of an apex. Missing the apex a little bit, but not losing too much time to Andre. And this fight is going to continue going as Norbert Tamas, a lot happening for a moment. Hang on. Norbert Tamas overtakes Charlie Kent, and I believe at the same moment, Diego, and Diego's battling with Joris actually. That is Joris right next to him. Didn't make it happen on the inside. Looks around the outside. Diego maybe looking for a bit of ascent, but it's not going to happen. Sebastian Erbman still in P6, but had a little bit of a battle there. Everything is happening. Diego following very close behind that car of Sebastian Erbman. Beautifully liveried Ferrari. Still maintaining P5. Impressively, Diego losing a bit of time through there. Joris may be able to benefit from that, but not right now. Does get very close on their braking. That Porsche is very good on braking. and Balint is right behind with Dominique Forgetter, and they are starting to catch up to this pack. Dominique has since we saw earlier overtaken Balint. Everything's still happening here. Diego still leading that little pack chasing Sebastian Airman, that is, and behind that we do have a couple of small gaps. The smallest we'll have though is here between Diego and Joris. Diego has to watch out. Joris drives a Porsche good through corners, and that's a very important corner there. Greg's is very close on the brake in there through that hairpin. If he gets a better exit, maybe a move is on. He runs a little bit wide there, but it's a decent run anyway. Joris looking on the outside. Is there a move possible there? Not really. Brakes at a normal point, just tries to drive his racing line. Don't try to push it too much, even if you are past it. Simply not worth the risk. So decides to consolidate and stay in this position and continue on in this train as Pavlicek is being overtaken here by Nipam Shah. Nipam Shah moving himself up into P12, which is P4 in the class. This was for position in the class. I have a quick class review. Have a quick look then. We got Andre Katz leading from Oscar Soristo. I'm gonna talk about Oscar as if he is a pro driver, because that's exactly how he's driving, challenging for the lead. Still a league of their own, these two. Norbert Tamas is behind by 2 seconds, 2.9 seconds specifically. So these two are, they might be one of very few drivers that are setting lap times in the 41s. 41.6 from Andre Katz last time around. We've got Norbert Tamas setting a 142.1 in P3. You see Harry Spears though, he set the fast lap and Hibana yellow flag. It's been a very brief off there, but back on track again. Harry Spears has set the fast lap of the race, which is 140.7. And that was last lap in fact. Already moved up to P13. Still though, 22 seconds behind the leaders, so not yet gaining time. Right behind Nipam. We'll want to clear Nipam as quickly as possible. I'm not sure Nipam will fight that too much. Not much of a point when you know the driver behind you is a very strong pro driver. Have a look at the lead still. Oscar Soristo. It's maintaining such a close... There's so much pressure on Andre Katz, and I want to emphasize that, because driving with a car so close behind us is obviously a lot different than just being out in front and just doing your race. Constantly having to keep yourself honest, really put in the laps, push a little bit harder than you would like to, than you are comfortable doing. And yeah, these two are absolutely pushing each other to the limit, and it's very good to see Andre Katz here leading in such a brilliant race between these two, and Oscar Soristo really putting on the pressure. It's so close between these two, but to keep it clean. Still in the lead for now, and we would not like to miss an overtake between these two. We're gonna stick around with them. Still having a good exit out of there, and unfortunately for Oscar, he is sat in the Porsche. Porsche is a beautiful car, fun to drive through corners, but not very quick on straights. Even if you are closely following in a slipstream, you might still be losing time. Unfortunately, not able to make up a position there. Just keeps on following, keeps on keeping Andre honest. You do see Andre taking all of the that curb there in the previous corner. Really not letting off. This is not a relaxed drive we're seeing here. We are seeing a man with a knife between his teeth trying to run away from a maniac in a Porsche. And it's entertaining to watch, and this might last all race. We did see earlier Oscar was in the lead briefly, but after a lap, only for a lap, and as we do see a yellow flag there, and I think, no, that's Johannes Kaune in the Lamborghini. It's dropped back quite a lot, and unfortunately sat still there on an apex. Not what we want to see, but he's got going again. Well, these two will continue battling. A bit of a mental struggle between these two, a little bit of a battle of who can keep their head the coolest. Really, Andre in the lead on that front. But it's a long race, still over an hour to go. We will start seeing pit stops soon, I think, and I do believe we have some people coming in. In fact, I believe several people that have already stopped. Philip has stopped. Piacciotta currently sat in P28 has already stopped as well. If he doesn't need to stop again, that's a decent position for him to be in. But if you have already stopped before now, there's a very good chance that you will have to stop again. Ivana Banana picks up a 10-second time penalty. Then Dan, our steward, has judged him to be at fault for an incident earlier in this race. Let's see if we can. I cannot find any information on exactly what that was for. In any case, he's going to have to deal with it. And let's keep going. Lucas Aristo very close behind Andre Katz. There's a very close battle between these two. But Diego Fimbres Casas also chasing down Sebastian Erdmann, the Mexican, getting on the tail of the Norwegian driver here. When I feel like Sebastian made a little bit of a mistake there. Diego looking on the inside, but there's not really a move there before the S's. Does have a very good run taking that curb, trying to maximize the speed he can take through there. And no move in the hairpin for now. But it is very close. These two are very close in terms of pace. Diego maybe slightly faster. His fastest lap was, however, slower than Sebastian's fastest lap. So they're just very close to each other in terms of pace. And Diego keeping it clean. And Sebastian Erdmann trying to set the best laps he can. But it's a lot of pressure. And behind that, we do have a little bit of a teammate battle with Dominique Fouquet and we have Balint Capet, both massive green cars. And I think they're just putting each other up here. P8 and P9 currently, so very good running for them. Of course, the scoring for teams will not be on overall position. It will be based on their position in their class. I do see Oscar has lost a little bit of pace to Andre. Last lap a little bit slower and just lost a couple of seconds. Then Kingswell quite far back in P22. Had to find him in the list, but here he is. Also has got a 10-second time penalty. Dan looking at his... that's not Dan Kingswell, but another Dan. Our BSKIT Dan, he has looked at an incident involving Dan and has decided he was to blame, predominantly. Of course, it's never so simple as this person is entirely to blame. It's always a case of a balance, and the steward has to make sense of that. We see here Harry Spears on his charge through the grid, as we see Ryan Curtis making the name of his team a bit of a prophecy there. Spinning out and currently losing positions, bleeding actively as he sits out there, and he rejoins just about fairly, just on the middle of the track, but the racing line is on the outside. He left enough space, so that's just about good. The number 5 car right behind, though, that is Nils Janssen. Not in the same class, that is an M-class driver. Nils, currently leader in the class, in fact. Credit to him. But he is currently in a bit of a battle with Bogdan Russo, I believe. No, not actually. I believe there's a car in between that doesn't belong there. Bogdan's a little bit behind us. Do you see? Diego Fimbres Casas. I think he's currently off the track. He's losing a lot of positions. What happened here? causing a bit of a yellow flag there. And Sebastian Erdmann as well. These two must have come together. I'm going to start using my replay feature. Let's see what happened between these two. We've got here Diego. Quite close to... quite close, maybe not, but Sebastian Erdmann is ahead. See what happens. Sebastian Erdmann is currently flashing. I believe that has to be a back marker. Ooh, and there's a little bit of a collision. A bit of a tap as they have to slow down. Ooh, I think Dan will have a look at that and see what happened there. And the 31 car getting a little bit in the way maybe, but there's no need to punt him to pass. That is unfortunately for Sebastian Erdmann. It's not the rule that you just get the pass. Ooh, and Diego breaks late there. Ooh, and tags Sebastian. Oh no! You could say that's karma for the punt earlier, but that is not. And Diego, credit to him. Where credit where credit is due. He is waiting up for Sebastian Erdmann here. Very good to see. Sebastian will be pissed off that he lost those positions, and maybe a little bit, you know, a little bit argy-bargy there with Diego. Maybe unnecessarily so, but Diego concedes the position back. Will have a reduced penalty because of that, likely. But unfortunately, it had to happen in the first place. And worse for them, Harry Spears is coming to get them. Currently set in P11. And chasing Hibana Banana. Now, Balint Gabay and Dominique Fouquet, of course, teammates in the massive green car, are the big beneficiaries from this. Balint currently sat in P6, followed by Dominique in P7, closely chasing Jorgis Pacers Veen. They are now fighting for P5 and working as a team together, as a unit, really securing those positions very nicely. Very nice to see. Something different in racing. Normally you don't really see them moving as a unit like that, but here we are seeing it. And Oscar Saristo already sat in P2. Still, Andre still leading the race, but Oscar closing that gap. Was a second just a while ago. Maybe just let off a little bit, trying to gather himself a little bit, but he's come right back up to P2. Well, he was already in P2, what am I saying? He's only a half a second behind, so he's closing that gap and starting to challenge again, which is great to see. Let's have a look at Deck. Deck very close to Sammy Cal, and this is a full position in the class. And maybe wants to make a move here, ooh, but it's difficult to do it right there. We do see Dan catching up with the, the steward, catching up with the incident. We do see Sebastian Erdmann getting a 5-second penalty for punting, I believe it was the 31 car, the back marker, and I assume that Dan will immediately be looking at the incident with Diego as well, and giving his fair judgment on that. Deck very close to Sammy still, but not quite close enough yet for a move maybe. He does look around the outside. Sammy going a little bit defensive on the inside, but there's nothing there unless Sammy has broken too late, which he has not. Now Deck just drives his normal line. Tries to get as close as he can, but nothing there. That Audi is a little bit sensitive to changes in the air. Oh, as we see behind, hold on to that thought. Filip Gruzajic from Croatia. Unfortunately, I think he returned to pit there. I think he may have given up on this race, and I think I'm gonna get a request in a moment for him to join me, because I believe he might be out of this race. Very unfortunate from Philip to get out there and like that. And as we say that, Diego Fimbres Casas overtakes Sebastian Erdmann and moves himself up into P8. Maybe not the position where he wanted to be right now, but that's the position he is in. And Diego has been given a drive-through penalty. I believe that is from the steward for the incident we saw earlier, and that might be a bit harsh according to Diego, but so it is given and so it shall be. Hibana being taken now by Harry. Harry making that overtake into turn 1. Very nice, very clean. Ibana still trying to battle a little bit. A bit of argy-bargy there in that Mercedes, trying to prove that switching car was a mistake, but Harry keeps that position. I'll try to get someone in here. Try to get someone in here, maybe, to join me in commentary. As we have the man, the myth, the legend.
Hello.
Yes, there he is, Drago, joining us for commentary. As you do see,
Yes.
hang on a minute, Sasha Kleinen spinning into the pits. As people can view that, he has to back out. Just a 2-point turn out of that pit lane. He decides not to go into it. And yeah, decides to continue driving. Hello, Drago, how are you doing?
I am.
So, I believe your microphone is not catching your voice very well. But,
Okay. Are you hearing me better now?
I am hearing you better indeed.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not. I think people are getting the desktop feed from me a little bit loudly, so I'm just gonna have to balance that as we go. But have you been? How have you been today, and how have you been watching the race?
I've been watching for at least a couple minutes. When I got done with dinner, that is.
All right, very good. Well fed then, and ready to carry us through the last 57 minutes of the race.
Exactly.
So we're not halfway yet. We do have a very interesting race to look forward to. Still got Balint Gabe here battling Jorgis. Going to be full P5. Not technically for class for Balint, but of course after a couple of races we might decide to reclassify him. And if he believes that might be appropriate, then he will be fighting for this position all the same.
Yes. We will have to wait and see.
A bit further back, actually, gonna highlight the AM class here, because Yannick Breda, we saw him earlier in the race spin out, and he's fought himself back up all the way into P16 after a recent overtake on Bogdan Rusu. Currently set in P16 and very close behind Nils Janssen. That's going to be a battle for the lead of AM class coming up, and very exciting to see indeed.
Oh, definitely. I mean, M class usually provides a lot of entertainment when it comes to battles for lead or even for just podium.
Yeah, podium position, you name it, they fight for it. We do see Balance very close behind Jorgis, but not quite a move there. Jorgis does miss the apex. Balance maybe tries to look for a move, but it's just not quite anything there. And yeah, he decides to keep going. Going in the positions as they were before the move was even on. You see Deck in the pits, and we do see also Yashota, maybe having a little bit of an incident there, maybe on throttle oversteer and on the crash into the wall.
That is not ideal.
Not ideal indeed. You see Sebastian Erdmann has already pitted, currently sat in P26. And,
I assume... I could be wrong, but I assume there was a bit of damage repair, most importantly serving the penalty.
Yes, very possible indeed. But does put him in a good position for later on in the race. And we do see Philip putting into the pits, probably to repair damage and serve his pit stop, which he hadn't done up till now, regardless.
Yep. We're getting to that time in the race where most people are going to be pitting.
Absolutely. I think we'll see the strategies start to work out. And keep an eye on the lead as well. Oscar Sarissa, Andre Katz currently in a heated battle, though it has, I say heated battle, it has cooled down a little bit with Oscar being 2 seconds now behind Andre. But that's not a big gap, and that can easily be made up with a well-timed pit stop by Oscar. So keep an eye on that, and the strategy may make the difference there.
Definitely one to watch. I mean, it's the battle for the lead. It's always one to watch.
Absolutely, and not a battle for the lead here. Yannick very close behind Nils Janssen, having fully caught up there, and Bogdan also quite close behind, keeping up. And Nils is just gonna have to take this pressure, just take it like a man. But Yannick looks really good on that straight, very close behind. It's still a Porsche though, so still not gonna catch up.
You have to have in mind this is a three-way battle.
It's absolutely a three-way battle indeed, but Yannick will be looking forwards more than he will be looking in his mirrors. Looking on the inside there, but it might compromise his exit, but it also compromises Nils' exit, who was forced into a mistake there. The M6 on the grass, but is it enough of a difference? I don't think it is for now. Yannick has to stick with his position, as we see in the virtual mirror. Bogdan also getting very close. Yannick looking on the outside, but Nils defending that inside very nicely. Sticks in that position, and so they continue driving.
They do indeed continue their battle.
With Harry Spears currently up into P8, still about 20 seconds behind the leader. So once he gets through the biggest part of the pack, he does have to put in quite strong laps to be able to catch up.
Yes.
And
Wait, is there regarding Harry Spears, did he do anything funky at the start?
Yes, he parked the car again.
Ah! He did it again.
Absolute menace, that one. Just makes his own rules, just parks the car wherever he wants, doesn't pay for parking as well.
Yeah, unfortunately we are not receiving the parking fees, I can confirm.
I think I'll send him a parking ticket after this race is over, because that's just not on.
We
retroactively for Monza as well, you know?
Yep. Quit your illegitimate parking, please. Thank you.
Ooh, I think Yannick went for a bit of a move there. Hey, what's going on here? Car's slowing down. Maybe a little bit of a hardware issue for Yannick.
Nils was backwards.
Oh no, wait, Nils has been hit, I believe. Let's go back a little bit.
Nils was backwards, you can see in the mirrors.
Well, I may have missed that, but let's have a really good look at that from the helicam.
Let's go back to the replay.
Yeah, we got turn 1 and Yannick a bit late on the brakes there. Ooh, unfortunately touches Nils there, and yeah, Yannick does wait up for him. Doesn't decide to do a hit and run. Just slows down a little bit. Lets Nils catch up, and I think in a moment we'll see a wide line, maybe a bit too wide, but lets him go through again. We got Nils Janssen still ahead of Yannick, who has also lost a position to Reese in the process.
Yep.
And Bogdan has emerged as the leader of M-Class. Currently a gap of 7 seconds behind him.
Oh boy, it's the scribbled M4.
We do see a little bit of an ongoing battle here. Harry Spears making his way through these drivers here. Balint Gebe, Dominic Fiqueta already being overtaken, and Ioris being next on the list.
It continues his climb.
He continues his slaughter, I would phrase it.
The Harry Spears special.
I think Ioris knows better than to fight it too much. A little bit wide there. I don't think that was the ideal way to do it, but
try to hold if it works, but don't go too hard, or you're gonna get yourself in a rough position for yourself instead of just. Exactly. You're not gonna gain anything.
You see Yannick Breda pitting. I think he might be using that in order to overtake Nils Janssen legitimately. And that race is also far from over. Bogdan has shown some decent pace though. Have a look at the fastest lap. I believe Bogdan. His fastest lap was a 143.0, and I think that's faster than anyone except Yannick, who's on a 142.4. Very rapid. He's shown himself to be very pacey last time around as well, and today he does it again. But unfortunately, made a mistake, dropped a lot of time, and has to fight back.
Unfortunately, those things do happen, but if you do have the pace, you can just catch up.
You will have a very interesting race doing it, so I don't think he minds too much.
That
You'll
is
have a lot
true.
of fun.
That is true. You will have fun finding your way back.
I do see Balint looking on the inside there of Joris. Joris has to leave the space there. There's already compromised through there, but through that corner he regains his position, is fully ahead, and Balint has no claim to that position anymore. Not by force anyway, so he's gonna have to try again at a later moment.
Yeah, there's... I would say it's not really the time to force anything. Just keep calm. You're not even halfway through the race. You don't want to go for a move that's too risky.
Probably not.
Especially when there's no reason for it, which I would say is the situation here. Your position is safe. I mean, you have a teammate right behind you, so your position is going to be safe. There is no reason for you to just try to force a move when you could try to be patient.
That's entirely correct. Now, having a look through the field, we've got Reach Corbin lost a position to Casper Ariel, who I think after an early incident kind of disappeared from the face of the planet, but here he is back again, P15 and third in class, and good prospects to have a decent finishing position this time around.
Let's see.
Something that's heating up again is the battle for the lead of the race. Oscar Saristo close behind Andre Katz again. Less than a second between those two.
Yeah, it's been a very exciting race at the top, which is always nice to see.
Yes, exactly. And how would you see this play out? Do you think Oscar will try to make a move on track, or does he prefer to wait it out, push at the end of his stint like he might be doing now, and just pits as somebody goes by that is not Andre Katz? I believe there's a back mark just getting out of the way of Andre
4-8,
Katz.
I think.
Very possible.
I think it goes 4-4-8. I did see it for the map.
Yeah, it appears to be the 4-4-8, but moved out of the way anyway, not his battle, and keeps going.
Yeah, just taking the correct decision.
Overall, I will say, I think we've seen very clean racing from people overall. As you do see Andre pull into the pits, there we go, the leader of the race decides that he has had enough of these tires, of this stint, and goes to the pits. Norbert Tamas, has spun very close to the pits. What happened there? Let's have a look. 30 seconds back in time.
Oh, that is not what you want to be doing to the very rough position.
But Norbert Tamas, of course, leader in the championship. So a mistake like that from him, if it was an unforced error, that is uncharacteristic. Oh, and here we do see him go very wide through Greg's. And has been tapped by
Greg strikes again.
The number 42 McLaren, and I'm not sure who is to blame there. Dan will have a look at that. And yeah, very unfortunate from Norbert Tamas, leader in the championship, losing so much time to Charlie Kent and to Oscar, and may have to settle for fourth today at best.
I guess we'll have to find out. Oh, RSP has also went to the pit lane.
Exactly, and I think that might explain why Andre has gone in. No, actually, Harry Spears has gone in as response to Andre, maybe. Yeah, exactly, after Andre. Andre currently sat in P10, emerges there, 45 seconds behind the leader of the race, Oscar, provisional of course, and Harry Spears currently in the pits is losing positions left and right here to AM drivers, but that's only an illusion, he will regain those momentarily.
Yep, I mean, for all that we care, Andre is currently leading the race still, because everyone in front of him is yet to take to the pits. And
well, I was gonna say provisionally only because Oscar hasn't boxed yet, but it appears we're going to find out sooner rather than later because Oscar is in the pits right now, and Charlie Kent is also coming into the pits. That will not giving him an opportunity to overtake per se, but it's good for him to do that anyway, and have it sorted. No
Yep,
strategy
going for
call
no
there for him.
overtake, just strategy.
Let's have a look at Andre then. He has to pass the pit exit before Oscar exits himself. As he comes around this corner here, that wide entry, wide exit, slightly tight exit actually. Quite hard to get right. Going to try and send it through here, Gregs, but not too much. Controls the car very nicely. And as he comes through here, is Oscar still standing still in the pits? He is not, in fact, he's already moving, but Andre is coming. Andre is building up speed, and the 97 car is right ahead. It's going to be tight. The 97 car still ahead. Oscar currently has taken the lead, but will he keep it through here? Andre on the outside has a superior speed. The tires will be slightly better. Looking on the outside, inside for the next corner, but he thinks better of it. And Oscar takes the lead of the race for right now. But he does have to make the tires work, because they will be out cold. And it's going to be a bit tricky for him to keep it. But for now, Oscar in the lead of the race, followed by Andre, effectively. And Charlie Kent behind.
Oscar's put in a quite rough situation where you're gonna have to do your warm-up lap, fight while holding the lead. It's not exactly the best situation to be in. On one hand, sure, you're leading. On the other hand, you have P2 right behind you and you're still warming up your tires.
Absolutely, but so far he's managing it quite well, pulling a little bit of a gap, but it's early days for this battle in the second stint. And hopefully we'll see it evolve a little bit. Andre still keeping within a second of Oscar. So we'll keep a very, very close eye on that. Let's see what happens to the AM drivers now, because I see Casper Ariel currently in P8. Everybody that was ahead of him has gone into the pits and switched tires. I feel like Bogdan Rusu is effective leader of AM class right now.
Let's see where Bogdan sits. There it is.
Yannick has actually lost a lot of time compared to Bogdan. So we're gonna see if Yannick can make up all of that time. Nils Janssen is where Nils? I've lost him. Now, Nils Janssen is behind Casper actually. He hasn't stopped yet.
Yep.
Currently sat in P9.
Several drivers who's yet to make a stop. Oh, there's a few.
Yeah, here we have Norbert Tamas, of course, currently leader of the race as it stands. However, originally, because the real lead is, of course, Oscar, but that might not last because Andre is right behind him, getting ever closer.
Yeah, this battle continues for yet another chapter. You absolutely love to see it.
It's actually brilliant racing between these two so far, giving each other plenty of space on the inside and outside, just to keep that battle going. No contact, no spins, no crashes, just clean battling between these two, and as a result, effective leads still, and about 20-21 seconds ahead of Harry, who is the real threat between them. And as I say that, Harry Spears has actually overtaken Nils Janssen. So moving
Nils
up.
Janssen was... Yeah.
Nils Janssen hasn't stopped yet.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. Someone who is yet to pit, so the overtake is quite natural, I would say.
Yes, indeed. But ahead of Harry still is Casper, who also hasn't boxed. Let's see. No, Casper has actually just boxed. I just missed that. Happened right in front of me, didn't see it. But Andre Kat's still very close behind Oscar. This battle is not over yet. Oscar, of course, very close behind Andre for a large part of the first stint. Looked to be faster for a little while, but it's not that clear cut. The difference between fastest lap between these two is only 0.03 of a second, which is not enough to win you a race, unfortunately.
Yeah. Very short ranges, and a battle that will continue to go on. Obviously, airspace is slowly but surely gaining, and might be one to look for later down the race.
Yes, indeed. Well, this battle is just gonna keep going, and we're just gonna keep enjoying watching it. If you are currently watching this, let us know who you are rooting for, Andre Katz or Oscar Saristo. It would be interesting to see who we are backing here today. Now, who would you think is going to win the battle between these two?
Honestly, I don't really have a favorite quite yet.
Gonna be
Both of
hard
them,
to say, of course. Oscar does have a better position in being ahead. Andre has shown himself to be a very capable driver.
yeah, that's exactly where I am standing at the moment. I said nobody that's clearly speaking of clearly ahead, Nils Janssen going to the pits.
Correct, is the leader of AM class, deciding to box. And yeah, and let's see where he emerges in a moment. We've covered AM class and Pro class a lot, I think, but Silver class is also in between there, and they are also having a race. Ibana Banana currently, I think, in the lead there. Ooh, of everybody that has boxed. I do see Carla has gone well, but the top one of the leaders. Back marker getting out of the way a bit too spontaneously.
Yeah, there is a way of doing it. Don't be too harsh.
Well, actually, I want to have a look here. Nils Janssen. There we go. Coming out of the pits, and I think he might emerge.
No, B20. That's
P21, in
Bogdan.
fact.
That's Bogdan.
Yes, so he's currently
P21, yeah.
right behind Bokaragusa. That's the yellow car ahead.
Yep. There he is. Very good to have a identifiable car to give us a good position.
These Nils sat on P21 in the class that will be P4. So I think that's a good place for him to start battling for the rest of the race. But I think really good shout outs to Reese Corbin, currently sat in P2 of the class, 19th overall, and I think he will be very satisfied with this position. And still more to gain, of course, but I think if he can keep this, he'll be extremely happy. Very good race from him so far. And see if that maintains until the end.
Oh, definitely. I said I don't want to praise anyone too much. We all know how that one can end. No, would rather not.
Yes, indeed. And this battle, it's kind of hard to switch around because this battle is just going to keep going, and that's just the characteristic of it. These drivers, they do not want to make a reckless move, and there's plenty of reckless moves there to make around Kyalami. And we do see Oscar going defensive here. Andre looking around the outside, maybe a switchback, but there's not enough space there for it. But you see Oscar compromising every line just to keep this position. And they might be losing time to Harry there, though, so they do have to be very careful. Oh, and there is contact! Andre touches Oscar in the back, which spins him around. And is he gonna keep on driving, or is he gonna give the position back? We're gonna have to see, but contact between the leaders.
Not to mention, of course, while this was happening, Nobatamas was in the pits. I didn't even get to mention that.
Yeah, Nobatamas was in the pits and conceded the position back. Now yours is in the lead of the race, but it's only provisional. Andre, I think, will let Oscar by here.
Yep.
And order is restored. And the car behind is not for position. Charlie Kent is still 3 seconds back, but if they keep touching like that, Charlie Seconds is going to be 3/10 back, and we'll have a three-way battle for the lead.
Yes.
But more worrying.
I do like the way Andre has handled it. Just getting out of that maybe a bit more complicated zone. of the
Yeah,
track,
he's
and then giving position a bit later down.
yeah, I think that's a very good way to do it. Not to you don't just park the car there, wait for the other guy to go by. If it's in the corner, you can do it, but not on the straight. So I think he's handled that very well. Charlie can 2.5 seconds behind Andre, who's fallen back a second behind Oscar, and Harry Spears, crucially, I think is about 10 seconds behind this battle. Previously 20 seconds, so you've lost a lot of time because of that. Oscar still so maintaining the lead, and Jorg is currently in the pits. We do see the number 71 car. Trev has, I think, spun, and I think he's reset the pit, so may have totaled the car. Let's hope it's nothing too serious. 959 is also see a yellow flag for. Let's see Banana from the lead of Silva, actually making a mistake through these S's, presumably, and as a result, drop back to P13 overall, and in the class quite far back now. Not what you want, but that's how it is. Now Joris has boxed. He's coming out of the pits right now. We'll have a speed deficit for a little while, but I think P5 it is for him right now. I think if he stays there, we'll be absolutely satisfied. The drivers ahead are very quick. Andre, Charlie, Harry, and Oscar, all proving themselves to be forces of nature, in a sense. Andre starting to catch up to Oscar again after a bit of a mishap out of the last corner. And so that battle is gonna continue. And a bit further back, we do have a bit of a beautiful race between these two here. Deck Bowler catching up to Ryan Curtis.
Oh, indeed, and I would like to go back on the previous statement and say, yeah, 5th place is definitely not a bad place to be in any way, shape, or form.
Absolutely, absolutely not. And if I have a look at the previous results, the previous race, pro class, we had Jorgens finish 7th, so I think P5 for him will be absolutely fine, satisfactory, and good for his championship for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Now, Andre Katz's last race around, he did join us, but he did not finish the race. I think it was a really big incident with him involved, and after that he decided to call it quits, unfortunately. So these points he gets here today will be the first points he gets in the championship. The question is, will it be 50? Will it be 45? Will he get the fastest lap? Likely not, because Harry Spears behind has some extremely alien pace that I'm not sure anyone can manage.
Just another episode of Harry Spears, isn't it?
Yeah, Frubo, as we call him, a biscuit. Andre Katz getting a 10-second time penalty, by the way, for that incident earlier.
Just the incident, yeah.
Dan looking at that and judging that was too much. Maybe a bit of inattention. 10 seconds for that.
Yeah, that is quite harsh in the sense that, not in the sense of the maybe of the crash itself, but it is very. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Andre is not exactly happy.
No, it won't be happy with that, but that will still, for now, it will net him, well, anywhere between 3rd and 4th.
Yep.
Will likely at the end of the race be P4, which not what he wanted for sure. Was fighting for the win. It's a lot better than nothing.
Yeah, it is significantly better than nothing.
And believe you me, he will not just give up on this fight just because he has a penalty.
Oh, he won't.
Try for fun as well. So that's gonna keep going. But a more meaningful battle right now, I think, is between Deck and Ryan. As you see Deck dive on the inside, but there's contact between these two. Ryan maybe not quite seeing him, or was Deck too optimistic there? I think Dan will have a look at that, but they are still fighting. Nothing lost there. Still side by side through these S's. Very clean racing from these two. Ryan maybe correcting a little bit of oversteer, but it's just enough space that Deck is leaving. And so they keep it clean. No tears there. Ryan defending the inside nicely hits the apex, but Deck will try to go for a later apex. Has a better run out of there. Ryan a bit scruffy on exit as a result. I think this battle is going all the way to the next corner. Deck lining himself up for the outside. Oh, Ryan maybe misjudges that corner a little bit and goes on the grass, loses a little bit of speed, but still able to defend the inside. Deck looks for a switchback, but there's nothing there and has to settle for P16 for now.
Yeah, for now I guess he's gonna have to sit back, but still, very good try.
Very good try, very good battle between the two of these. Ryan sometimes maybe a little bit unclean from certain instances we have seen, but he's showing that he can race, and with a brilliant battle with Deck, just giving each other just enough space, and he'll do it again here, just drive the line very nicely. Deck conservatively leaves him a little bit of space. Looks on the inside, but not really. It's a bit of a fake. You see Ryan really pushing that car to stay ahead of Deck. Deck does have the pace over him. I think he recognizes, and some intimidation tactics with the flashing there. Now, a bit further back in M class, we do see Nils Janssen having overtaken Bogdan Rusu for P3 in the class. And yes, will continue to try to chase Reese Corbin ahead of him. Gap is currently 4 seconds. Yannick still 10 seconds behind Bogdan for any position. Now, looking for the upgrade, we do have Dominique Verkette having, well, I would say ditched his teammate is currently 5 seconds behind. So they were moving as a unit earlier in the race, and has gone away a little bit. Dominique having the better pace, being able to keep up with yours, and yours still in that position right now. So this battle, I think, is going to evolve a little bit as well. Harry Spears actually renews the fastest lap of the race in 140.6. Blistering pace, faster than anybody else by a second currently. That's just quite ridiculous. I think actually Norbert Tamas in P9, having had some bad luck, is closest in terms of pace with a 141.2, improving his best time last lap. Only just looking, where is a move that I can make? Where is Joris weak? Where does he make mistakes? Where do I gain time? And is it possible to make a move there? And in many places that's not possible. In turn 1 it would be, except he's too far behind. So not for this lap, maybe later. As we do see, a yellow flag. Dipam Shah parked at the entry of the pits. I'm not sure if he intended to go into the pits there, but probably not. Let's go back a couple of seconds. Let's see what happened here. I think he's lining up for the wide right-hander with a wide entry, of course. And through Rex. Let's see if something happened here with the corner. Oh, and we see a snap there and hitting the wall. That is a disaster. The snap alone you can handle. You can carry the speed if you have enough control there, but the hit, that is damage that would have to be repaired, and you're not going to so late in the race, already having served your mandatory stop. As Dominique is currently side by side with Joris pages, but it's not enough on the outside of the hairpin. Unfortunately, not the place where you want to be. As Sebastian Eppan also made a mistake, I believe. Where are we on track currently? Not entirely sure. It was actually out of the S's there, so losing a lot of time there. A lot of things going on at once. I don't know why the drivers don't agree to, or as Reese Corbin actually goes into the pits. I'm not sure what happened there, but he is in the pits right now, as I see on my screen.
There has to be a story. There has to be a story behind that.
Not for sure.
Also, lots of incidents happening at this time. very unfortunate ones at that.
That is true, but don't see any malice in any incident. It's just people misjudging corners a little bit, maybe braking a little bit too late, and causing others to spin that way. Regardless.
Yeah. I mean, and we have seen a lot of these incidents coming through just errors more than any ill intent. I mean, most of the times we've seen a lot of incidents when people just caused it to themselves with no others involved even.
Yes, indeed, and I think every time we have seen incidents where a driver went off track, they've been very careful or very skillful to keep it clean in rejoining. We haven't seen any reckless or dangerous rejoins yet from our perspective. And I mean, normally if that happens, you will be able to see it with a massive pile up somewhere. We did see one at the start. Curious to see what happened there, but it's something we're gonna save for later. For later in the review, of course. The drivers do like to review the race after races. Oh, and you see Ryan Kurtz. I think it came together, Ryan and Deck. Let's go back in time there to see exactly what happened there. Very close racing through turn 1 here. Turn 2 and 3, they were there. Deck on the inside. Ooh, was that too ambitious, or did Ryan just turn into him? They do kind of keep the nose pointing in the right direction, and Ryan conceded a position in the end, so Deck has made that position, but I think Dan, our steward, will have a look at that and see who is really to blame there. Like a lot of incidents like that, where you can see both perspectives. One driver maybe being a bit aggressive, and the other driver maybe trying to cover the inside too hard. So it's a bit, it takes two to tango, but in the end, maybe one is a little bit more to blame than the other. Dan will base his judgment on that, and we will see in a moment who gets that +5 or +10 next to his name. That will be the person deemed at fault. And principle, we always accept the judgment of Dan. He tends to be very fair and mostly correct steward. You see Dominic still fighting Joris 4P5. And as we have a look on at the Harry radar, Harry currently sat in P4, only less than 4 seconds behind Charlie Kent, currently closer to Charlie than Charlie is to Andre. That is a fight that's going to happen in the next 20 minutes. But I feel like, so close to the end of the race, it's no longer going to be an easy pass. It's no longer people waving him through anymore. I think Charlie will want to fight for that position. Maybe lost Drago for a little bit, maybe a little bit occupied with other things, that's alright. Dominic's so close behind yours that this is a close battle we have currently on track. The other one is Andre. Andre is close to Oscar on track, of course, with that 10-second time penalty virtually. He's actually 10 seconds and a half behind, which would put him back into P4. And there's not much that's going to change that. Well, if Andre spins and falls further back, he can pull back further. Maybe the penalty getting him back to P6, P7. Not recommended.
The thing is, you can't really tell. I mean, what is true now might not be true at the end of the race. For all that we know, the pack might completely spread. Hell, he might. I'm not gonna say hold to the position, but like lose one position. What's that, 2, for example?
Yeah, it's very possible. We do have a repeat of this battle though. Deck and Ryan. Deck flashing again. I'm not sure what he's trying to communicate. I don't speak flash yet.
I don't think Braille. I don't think speaking in Morse code is gonna work.
No, I think I know what's going on here. I think I've deciphered this. I think Deck is trolling.
Oh yes, he's just saying skill issue in.
He's doing a little trolling. He sees Jeremy Clarkson, he can't help it.
Yeah.
These are having a largely clean battle, aside from the incident that we saw earlier. Still fighting each other, fairly close to each other in terms of pace, and I think it's really good to see that Ryan has maintained P16 so far. From the history of races that we have seen here. Like on the BSKIT channel, so in Formula 1. Always been a case of good pace, very good qualifying, and but he does make a bit of a mistake here. Hold on to that thought. But he's still fast enough out of the corner just to keep the position there. Goes through Greg's and maintains E16 for now. Oh, but he does make a mistake there, and Deck pit maneuvers him.
Oh no.
That is not ideal, and I feel like that's going to be a lot clearer for Dan to figure out. That is Ryan way further back, facing the wrong way, and he's waiting just for cars to pass, and they keep passing because there's just so many cars. He's gonna have to find a gap here somewhere, and okay, there's another car coming. Apparently, it has to pass on the other side. But a very tight exit there, not normally where you expect cars to be. But yeah, loses so many positions there. Goes to P22, and I think there will be a very funny discussion after the race between these two. And by funny, I mean intense.
Heated is a good word.
Heated is a very good word, and I'm glad you used it. So, Decabola currently sat in P95. If he does get a penalty, I'll start mispronouncing his name for the rest of the stream. I'm sure he will appreciate that.
I don't think B95 is the correct position, I'm gonna be honest.
Did I say 95? I mean 16.
Yeah,
He should be
P95 would be a bit rough.
That's where we demote him after the penalty.
We demote him so far off that he's in a completely different race.
He's brought back to Monza, essentially.
Yes.
Oh, in Ducey, I think Ryan
You are
is off
going
the track
to
again.
Italy. Oh.
He has to cut that corner a little bit. Unfortunately, did not manage to keep control of the car. Not sure what happened there, but it keeps going. Not a lot of damage. Pavel Obertal, though, also made a mistake instantly around there, and they are currently very close together on track. I say coincidence? Yeah. Is it a coincidence? I don't know if it is.
Maybe. This is where we need the conspiracy theorists. Oh, no.
Got enough of those as it is, but there we go. We got Dominic Vergette very close behind Joris still. Trying to send it through Greg's just to have a really good run into the hairpin, but overplays his hand and as a result loses a little bit of time. They've been close now further. We've got Robert Weber in the back, fighting also with Piazzetta.
We do see the battle.
I do see, Pavel Obertal, I think, made another mistake, maybe, and has lost a position to Maciek Bobnar. Pavel Obertal may have, I have to say surname, because we have got another different Pavel that we like to talk about, but Obertal may have some damage there, and might be slowing him down, because he's losing time hand over fist, and that's not his pace.
He was off for a bit, so I would not be surprised if that offing, not offing, when it was off, it caused any sort of damage.
Yeah, exactly. Here we see Sammy Kahl right behind Hibana Banana. Hibana currently set in P13, was the leader of the pack in silver class, but has since had a bit of an issue and moved back down and then back up into P13. We've been challenged by Sammy Caldo, so nothing is sure yet. There's a brief yellow flag which Fraser Dickey caused earlier, but that has since passed, and
Yeah.
green flag running again.
Yeah, those short moments when you go off track. To be fair, going off track
Sammy
might
looks on the
literally just be
inside.
going a bit
Such close racing between these two, sorry there, but a little bit of battling going on there. Sammy looking on the inside, Nibana leaving exactly enough space for a car to fit in between there. And everything was clean as a result. Sammy looking on the inside now. Very nice dive there. And appears to take this position, yes. Just ahead of Hibana Banana and through Greg's. There's not much Hibana can do.
That
other
is
than
a very clean move.
very, very good move there. And not what you normally expected as well. So Sammy Cow moves up P12. No, sorry, P13. My bad. I can't read numbers. And fourth in class, I believe that is.
Not sure it's good to hear you say not good with numbers.
I only have a maths degree, don't worry about it. Charlie Kent then has since overtaken by Harry Spears. We didn't even see Harry Spears crawl up to him, and suddenly he's just passed. Likely Charlie making a bit of a mistake, but in any case, Harry continuing his charge to the top. And only a little bit more to go. 2 more drivers ahead with 12 minutes to make that happen. One of which is for free because of the 10-second time penalty. And Declan Bowler has got a 10-second time penalty for that move on Orion. That was
Not surprising in any way, shape, or form. I'm gonna be completely honest.
not surprising indeed, and I think that makes sense. And as a result, I will be pronouncing his name Declan Bowler for the rest of the stream.
You really want to annoy him, don't you?
Well, he's not a dirty driver, but anything I can do to motivate clean racing here, I will.
Okay,
I think
fair.
that's very good motivation there for Deck. I do see Diego. I think Diego has been putting in the laps to catch up to Sebastian Eppan. Diego dropped down quite a lot in this race. Not exactly where he wants to be right now in P10. I believe he had a run-in with Sebastian earlier in the race. And as a result, P10, but caught up to Sebastian and fighting for P9. Now a bit further back, we have Hibana. Still keeping up with Sammy actually. These seem to be relatively equal in pace. I believe Sammy is slightly faster, but for now, not fast enough to put a second between himself and Hibana. Oh, and I believe Sasha Kleiman may have retired from the race. I think there was an issue there. Yellow flag and suddenly in the pit, so I believe
Okay.
Anders may have retired.
Let us take a look, I guess. We will have to wait to find out.
We do have Diego. Is that making a move position? I think it is. Sebastian Erdmann, I think, made a bit of a mistake going through Greg's, and Diego doesn't need a second invitation, just sends it, and it's done.
It's Diego. I don't really think second invitation is the type of thing that
No,
you're
Diego
going to
doesn't
see.
even need an invitation, to be fair, he just goes. But
Oh yeah,
very
he
good
goes
move.
where he pleases.
Yes, he's a free man and he'll do whatever he wants, damn it. But P9 for him right now. Very good going. But I'm keeping up though, and I see the gaps have kind of settled. I think we do have to keep a watch on Harry now. There are 4 minutes to go though, and that P1 spot is 6 seconds away. More than that, in fact. I don't think Harry will pick up a win here today, but will pick up a P2 as it stands. course, Andre still has a 10-second time penalty. That time will be added to his finishing time. So, unfortunately for Andre, that P2 will not be maintained. It will probably drop back to P4.
Yeah, the thing is that Andre can still be very inconvenient towards Harry. If he wants to.
Yeah, indeed, but I doubt it's necessary. 6 seconds in 8 minutes. You don't make that up, not that easily. And in fact, Oscar Saristo's last lap was faster than Harry's last lap. Which says a lot about how well Oscar is doing and maintaining the pace here. I say that, no, actually, sorry. Harry did a 141.6. Oscar did a 142.1. I thought it was a 141.1. But yeah, Harry's still faster, but it's only half a second per lap. And if you do half a second per lap for with 6 seconds gap, as he goes to overtake, I believe that's a back mark. I believe that's Nils Janssen.
That is Nils Janssen, or it should be. Yeah, number 5 exactly.
Yeah. So if you have 6 seconds to make up, you only do half a second per lap. You will need 12 laps.
You're not getting it. Yeah.
You're not doing 12 laps in 7 minutes.
Yep. Harry is very quick. You cannot defy physics, however.
No. But I think that's the next upgrade. I think that's what he's going for. What Jake is going for, actually, is Pavelopoulos has dropped back so far that now in the clutches of Gats, who was 17 seconds behind Matic Bobna. We did see Matic Bobna be overtaken by Pavel, so I'm not intentionally roasting Gats. I'm just pointing out that the gap was really big. Pavel has lost a lot of time, but Jake, very nice overtake there, very clean, and moved up into P23 overall. And in the class, that's what is that in the class? With P5?
Oh no,
P5 in the class.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I do accidentally switched to Steve Muckley there. A bit of a rotten race, maybe misclassed, but he never accidentally qualifying, so we'll give him that. Casper Ariel is catching up to the car ahead, who is Hibana Banana. I do see a fan of Casper in the chat. So a fan of Erdman will not have been happy to see Diego overtake Sebastian, but that's just life.
Ariel and Erdman are teammates, correct?
I believe they may have been teammates in Quebec.
No, that I know. I want to say that. No, I guess it's because they're both on Ferraris.
How many drivers are there in total in this race? We've got 33 still going. I believe we started with 37 drivers. So we've lost about 4. 33 still going. We're still on the track. Yeah, they're all still driving. So that's why the track map on the right is half obscured. You don't know what's going on.
Dots. All you see is dots.
Correct.
No track, only drivers.
Last 5 minutes coming up. And number 14 car of Casper Ariel is so close behind Hibana. Of course, different class for now. Asterisk. Important to note. But Casper very, very close behind and properly battling. Weeble, let's have a look. That would be... Oh, hang on. We do see a yellow flag. That's Steve Muckley. Reese Corbin. Yes, he's still driving. P27 for now. He's had a better position earlier, but I believe he had to stop again or something. I don't know what happened with him.
Yeah,
but,
he had to stop that we didn't really get, but he probably had his reasons. We'll probably find out about them later down the line.
That's Casper Ariel was trying to make a move around the outside of Hibana Banana, but Hibana says no, and he has to try again. And again takes the outside for the next corner. Hibana compromised line, to be fair, but that is not a move that's going to work like that. Casper tries for a switchback, but there's not enough there, so has to settle for current position. And how exciting would this have been had this really been for position? But Casper now on the inside of Hibana. And there he goes, a little bit of contact between the two, but nothing too major. Just Casper trying to push Ibana as far outside as he can, just to give him a good enough line. There's a little bit of contact just before the braking zone. Casper brakes about the same time, maintains the inside, and takes the position. Is a full car ahead and moves up to P14.
Yes. I mean, going back to something you said before, it is still very exciting, even if it's not a 5-foot position.
Absolutely, we're happy to see that, and I think there's no driver on the grid, not a single driver in BSKIT that will just give up. Okay, except for me, maybe. That will just give up on fights because it's not in the class. I've done it in BCSS too. I will freely admit to it. I was fighting for the championship, so at some point I see a pro driver and I'm like, if I try to block him, I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose too much time to the cars behind, so I just let most pro drivers go.
Yes, doing the quick maths as one would do.
Yeah, trying to be as calculated as possible.
Yep,
Somebody who doesn't have to be. Someone who doesn't have to worry about a calculator is Harry Spears. Used to be 6 seconds behind the leader, is currently 3 seconds behind the leader. So has made up a lot of time, and Andre Katz making it a little bit difficult for him, but not too difficult. Does leave quite a bit of space on that corner there, but no space to be given here through Griggs. If you try to stay around the outside of Griggs, you are very precious, very cute, and don't let anybody tell you to do anything else. Very unaware of how Griggs works, but it's just a one-line corner. If you're not taking the apex, what are you even doing?
You're doing it wrong.
Andre makes a mistake, and just let's Harry go.
Yep. I mean, Harry has now truly earned this position.
Yes, in fact.
Not that he did before, but you know what I mean.
Actually, P2 and 4 seconds behind Oscar. Still a big gap to make up. I don't think he can do it in what will be 2 laps. 3 laps?
Yeah,
2 laps,
it's
I think.
way too big for 2 laps.
Yes, so
unless there's a collapse, it's not happening.
Look, Harry is quick. If he devises physics, he can have it. I don't think he will today. I don't think that's in the planning. And they're just mowing through some back markers and trying to catch up to the leader. We do see Norbert Tamas though. Very close to Balint Gabay, who's right ahead of him. Balint still behind his teammate and Dominique. They've both done an excellent race today. Balint securing what is I believe it's the winner of silver, unless it's unclassified. And then we've got Dominique, of course, P6, right behind Jorgis. Definitely something to be really happy about.
Yeah, it is a very solid positioning.
And the leader is on the final lap of the race. Let's have a look at Oscar then. Oscar had a very interesting race, took the lead early on, but had to concede it quickly again to Andre. It's been in a battle with Andre ever since, and after a collision where Andre took a 10-second time penalty, has been essentially in the clear, and currently leads comfortably with a decent gap to Frubo, which gives him the right to bring it home and take that top step off the podium. Although he still does have to finish this lap. Already finishing Sector 1 for the last time this race. And halfway through Sector 2 already, midway through these corners. Through the S's. Look at how good that Porsche looks. He's built up the confidence throughout this race. And showing how skillful you need to be to beat Frubo. Even if Frubo starts from the back, he is extremely quick. And he's done very well today.
I mean, he still fought his way to P2. It is still very admirable, having to go through over 30 cars if he actually started last.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, of course, he started in the lead, and decided to park his car illegally. But,
Again.
here we have Oscar Saristo then going through the final corner, hit the apex of that last hairpin, and it is a P1 for the PAF Motorsports car. Oscar Saristo is your Kyalami race winner, followed closely by Harry Spears, then followed by Charlie Kent, who for good measure is, I think, right next to his teammate. 95 car piloted by Dick.
Yeah.
Who,
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah, that is
side by
very
side,
nice.
but of course Deck being
Wait.
a lap behind. Andre
Yeah,
Katz
we don't
finishes
talk
in
about that.
P4th. He finishes in P4, and I think he will maintain that yours still not having met the finish. But
Yep.
also a PAF Motorsports car in P5. So PAF
Oh, yeah.
Motorsports,
That is very good for the
good
team.
day.
I mean,
Very good day for them
P1
today.
and
Something to be
yeah.
proud of. And at the
That
silver
is
class, we got Valent Gabay taking the checkered flag first of them, or with the most amount of laps, followed by Vojta behind and Nipam behind that. And in AM class, we got Casper Arild still driving, not even close to the finish yet. He's just gone through the hairpin at the top of the hill.
thing is, you have to be careful because there's a lot of cars on track.
In fact, he's still battling there for position. Sami Cal right ahead. And if Casper is assuming he will be moved up to silver, he wants that position. But going through Greg's, looks on the outside for the hairpin. Is it going to happen? There is contact, and I'm not sure what the stewards will say about that. There's definitely something to look at. But as it stands, Casper does take that position, and winner of AM class, followed by Niels and Bogdan behind.
I am sorry, but I will have to leave a bit earlier. See ya.
That's absolutely fine. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, what a
See ya.
brilliant race. We return to garage and see this entire list of results here. We've got Oscar taking the win, of course, followed by Harry, then Charlie, Andre. We got Joris Balint, Norbert, Tamas. We got Diego, Sebastian, and Dominique Fekete rounds off the top 10. That is the final standings, and that is how it is. A couple of non-finishes there in Sasha, Kev, Philip, Michael, and Barnabas, who apparently didn't start. Yeah, I think he joined in qualifying, did not start the race, unfortunately. But that is your full list of finishers, and we'll try to have a couple of interviews here. I would like Oscar, Balint, and Casper, if they are listening, please get into a race room. That's probably race room 2 if you are listening. We can pull you in for an interview. Brilliant race we've seen here today. Definitely something to be happy about. And yeah, we will. We'll see if we can get some interviews going with some of the winners of the class. Be Oscar Balint and of course Casper Arild. I believe I'm actually gonna double check if Balint is classified. Apparently Oscar was classified as a silver class driver, but I feel like just a estimate. Don't think that's gonna hold up. So I think we're gonna probably switch that around. Actually, it might not be classified at all, and my spreadsheet might be outdated. Yes, I keep spreadsheets. What? Brilliant race from all of the drivers involved here. The Turismo was indeed classified in silver class, but that will be moved up. You can't keep your claim to silver once you won a race. It is that simple. I've got Casper Arild actually available for an interview, so I'll try to, once Discord would like to work, close a couple of rooms and drag him in. Leave with us we have Casper Arild. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing? How was that race for you?
Oh man, it was a tough one today. I had a nice battle early on with, I think it was one of the Aston Martins. We had like a three-way battle going on, and I think I ended up a bit too much on the right-hand curb coming into turn 2, and that unsettled the car pretty hard. The Ferrari does not like curbs at all, so I spun around, went back on track at like P20 after starting P12. And a few laps afterwards, I was hit in the rear coming into the hairpin, sending me almost all the way to the back. So I've been on the chase the whole race, trying to get back. So I'm pretty tired by now.
Yeah, I can imagine. You started at P12 and you finished P13, and that does not describe the race you've had then.
No, not
Uh,
at all.
Having to... We did notice you disappeared from the radar for a little while, and then you just reappear like that
Yep,
all of a
that would,
sudden.
that would explain why.
Yeah, that does give you the AM win, but I think by the description maybe we will want to reconsider that. But
Yeah.
you've done a very good race today, and we saw you battling with some silver drivers as well.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, very well done. So,
Thank you.
what are you expecting then for classification for yourself? Because as we just said, you do have some pace over other people.
Yeah.
It appears. Do you expect to be moved up?
I think so. From my results, both this race at Kyalami and then the round 0, the test race at Alton Park, I think silver class might be the proper positioning for me, considering the people that I'm driving in and around. So
Yeah,
I
we
think
did see you
that
toe to
maybe.
toe with Hibana, and Hibana is quite a competent silver class driver.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, I've heard that. So
that might
I'm
be
a
spot on.
yeah. We'll see
But
what happens.
yeah, and hopefully you have a bit more luck next race and can just battle from the start and not, you know, be
Yeah,
punted to the back.
fingers crossed. Things happen.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's fine. Thank you so much.
Regardless, yeah, thank you so much for joining for an interview. That was Casper, and we'll see him around next time, maybe for a silver class win. So, looking around, I don't think there's anybody else that has won a class that can do an interview or that's ready to do an interview right now. So I think. Oh no, we got somebody messaging me that they are indeed Oscar. So we of course we want the race winner in here. And actually, let me quickly figure this out. I think I need to. Yeah, he's got an alternative name on the server, so I just trying to figure this out. Right, bear with me here. Yeah, okay, I think I found him. So we're gonna drag him in. Right. This is, I promise, this is not me being an idiot. This is just me being cautious. And there we go. We've managed to drag him in, and we are joined by our race winner. Hello, Oscar.
Oh,
How was that for you?
that was fun. Good fun. I love the Porsche around Kyalami.
Definitely believe that, and you seemed very comfortable with that car, and you had a very intense battle for almost the entire race with Andre Katz. How was that for you?
That was probably one of the most fun I've had in a while. Actually, it's fun to race people that are similar pace, like all the time, not just going back and forth in lap times all the time. That's less fun, so to say.
yeah, it looked like a very close battle. You both seem to have about the same pace, and then in the end, a bit of a collision happened between you two. And what was your perspective on that?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. It was kind of an ambitious move from the Aston, since there was hardly any space on the inside, so I don't think I could have done anything else to avoid it. So I do think that it was on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you think he let you go early enough after that, or were you dissatisfied with that?
I mean, he tried as fast as he could. I'm in a Porsche. I'm not really fast on the straight, so I can't really catch him up very quickly. So it was good enough. It was only one corner.
Yeah, but it seemed fair enough, and no
Yeah, I think
penalty for that. Out
I
of
think the
contention.
10 sec. Yeah, I think the 10 sec might have been a bit harsh, considering he did let me go after the collision. But it is what it is. I'm not the steward.
Yeah, it's what
I
it
don't
is,
make the
and
calls.
I think in the end the penalty did not actually affect the finishing position.
No, I don't think so.
Funnily enough.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, very well done, very good race there, and well, we got you in silver class, and I feel like you will not be in silver class by the time the next race comes around. We'll probably put you in pro, and you'll be fighting with your teammate who finished P5, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I think pro is gonna be the place for me to be, even though I do have a bit of an advantage on Kyalami since I've driven probably close to 12 hours in the Porsche around there within the last month. So we'll
That's
see
time
what it's
to
gonna be like.
that's time to put a lot of time in into Imola next week.
Oh, oh yeah, that's gonna
So
be fun.
it is a very fun track, but it might not be the easiest one. But yeah, that should be a lot of fun, and hopefully you'll have a really good race there as well, and maybe we'll see a repeat of your fight with Andre.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Should be a lot of fun. Thank you very much for joining, Oscar, and congratulations on the win.
Thanks.
And with that, I think we'll be signing off then. So thank you so much for watching, if you have been. My name is Findict, and this was the second round of the BSKIT Combined Sprint Series. And then in 2 weeks' time, I believe, let me get this up. The 1st of April, and that is not a joke, we will have the Imola race. The race length will be the same details as this time. I'll be hosting that again, and hopefully you will be there as well to enjoy that race with me. So, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.